Louisiana versus all y'all. Jared Rosa here today with Jordan Doucet, Westgate starting quarterback for much of this state championship run, the first in the program's history, a standout athlete over there, Westgate for the past few years, and headed to Southeastern Louisiana for college after all this high school career wraps up. Jordan, I'm sure it's been a really fun few weeks to be around Westgate and around New Iberia with, as I mentioned, the first state championship since Westgate began as a high school. How's it been going, man?
Oh, it's been going good. A lot of positive things been happening after we won state. So it's a good feeling to know that when you won, that you changed the whole community and everybody talks about you now.
What's been the most fun or funniest or craziest kind of moment of some of this? Because as y'all picked up steam, the community continued to be more and more vocal. They followed you guys to New Orleans back-to-back weekends to wrap it all up, and the support y'all got was outstanding. And I'm sure it's been a little bit crazy to be that level of celebrity probably the last few weeks to do something that's never been done before. Are there some moments that kind of stand out where you're kind of pinching yourself and saying, how is this real? Like, what's going on right now?
I mean, it really all started when we went to New Orleans for Edna Karr. They had a lot of fans out there that we ever had before. And it was just a crazy atmosphere. And the Karr had a lot of people. We had a lot of people. It felt like a real kind of small college game that we was at. But, I mean, we used to that. But it was really Edna Karr and Warren Easton game that didn't feel real because everybody wanted the game for us to play them. We've been waiting since freshman year. And when we got it, it was just a crazy atmosphere.
When did you guys realize that y'all had a type of group? I talked to you before about remembering seeing y'all as the young underclassmen when a couple of those seniors 2 years ago were coming through the program, and y'all were able to make some plays in the playoff game. I saw y'all back then, and then y'all just continued to mature and grow through the process. But you mentioned some of this going back to at least freshman year, maybe some of y'all even before that. When did y'all first kind of recognize the potential there and start talking about big things in the high school level?
It's we all started talking about it after the freshman season. We're like, we got a big group. We could really go to state by our senior year, and we always had it on our mind. And then when senior year came, we'd be like, it's now or never. So we just worked hard through the season. We knew nobody could beat us. We had a little hiccup, two hiccup games, but we wanted to go undefeated. But we wasn't really mad about it. We just kept fighting, and we all just stayed together, and we made our dreams come true.
I wanted to ask you about those two in the regular season that y'all dropped. Y'all played a really tough regular season schedule and end up finishing 8-2, but still obviously positioned well to make the playoff run. After those two losses, knowing how high the goals were, the expectations, what were those conversations like to kind of refocus and make sure y'all stay full steam ahead?
I mean, we didn't really let that game bother us. We were just like, all right, we got another game to focus on. We got to put this behind us. We got to fix what we messed up in the previous game, and then we got to come to the next game and execute it better than what we did the previous week.
This year, you play quarterback for a lot of it, and you and Brennon both had kind of been banged up at different points. You were more receiver. He was kind of throwing passes to you, then y'all flip-flop, and you had an opportunity to make impacts on that offense and in the return game, really, in so many different ways. What was this year like for you in terms of trying to juggle that many positions at times and play that many different roles, wear that many different hats? And how good did it feel to be able to have that sort of an impact for your team on such a special season?
From freshman year, I practiced in many positions. I went from cornerback, receiver, quarterback, runner back. I used to be everywhere. So it really wasn't nothing new to me. It was just getting in the game as a quarterback, got to control the whole offense and stuff. That's what really made me nervous. But, I mean, I knew my teammates trust me. So if they trust me, I'll feel more confident that they'll make plays and I'll make plays for them. So we just had to put trust in each other after Brennan went down. But Brennan went at receiver, he making plays too. So we could just go anywhere and make plays from any position on the field.
What is it like to be a part of a team like that where, I mean, we talk about you two that played most of the quarterback and had those interchangeable type roles. Derek comes over and, people know him as this big defensive back prospect, but he's lining up at wide receiver or wildcat quarterback. Danny is doing different things. Even at the end of the state championship game, he lines up on that defensive line to help make some plays. It kind of goes to, I guess, one of the interpretations of that little the slogan that you guys have, the "We all make plays, Westgate ain't most people," all that. Tell me about that mindset and how much fun that is to be able to go out there and pose so many different threats and line up in so many different places as an entire team.
I mean, we got so many playmakers on our team that we could put all of them in at once and you won't know what to do. You don't know if somebody's going. If I'm going to run the ball, if I'm going to throw it to Danny, if they're going to run the ball, Miles, Dedrick, anybody. Like, we all playmakers on the team. So when they see all of us in, we got them all confused. They don't know who's going to get the ball. They flying anywhere where they think the ball is at, but you look around and then the ball is in another person's hands. So it's good to have a lot of playmakers on the team because the defense gets all confused and they won't know what to do with us.
I think there were some points during that playoff run too where people, I think, know that you're likely a wide receiver long term, and so y'all end up in some of these passing downs and some of the defenses are trying to get after you or not respecting the pass maybe as much as you ended up showing them they probably should have, and you're able to make a move, throw a ball to one of those guys and really frustrate them with some key third down conversions, particularly in those last couple games. How much did you feel those moments where you're able to either make a play with your legs or you're able to find one of those other guys to make a big connection on a conversion type down? How much did you feel that kind of weigh on some of those teams y'all played and kind of break those defenses' backs at times, kind of get them a little bit down as y'all keep on trucking along?
During the season, I've been running all over teams. Like, that's all I used to do is run the ball, pull it and stuff. So going into the playoffs, they'll probably have that. They'll probably see on film that's all I do. So on the big third down conversions that we need, I'll just know to throw it up to my receivers. I mean, I'm not a quarterback. I can't put it in the perfect spot. But if I know they'll make plays, so I just throw it up to them, and then they'll make plays for me. So defense be like, all right, now we got to guard these receivers and stuff. So during the playoffs, it helped us a lot, you know. Dedrick, Miles, Brennon, Danny, like every receiver, I trust them. So I just threw it to them, and they made plays.
How unreal were some of those plays to watch when and we'll, I guess, focus on a couple of them in the state championship game where Danny's 6'5", and a lot of DBs can't really match up with that, but he looked like he was 7 feet tall at times against some of those Easton DBs. Dedrick's out there making one-handed grabs on the Superdome carpet. As a quarterback that puts that ball in a position where they can make those plays, but then see the type of highlight reel catch on the back end of it, how much fun was that?
Yeah, it was crazy to actually see it because when I threw it to Dedrick and he caught it one-handed, I got hit after, so I didn't really see it. But I seen it on the big board, and I was like, man, that's crazy. I don't know how you caught that, but, hey, I'll take it.
For all the success y'all had, still waiting at the end where Edna Karr, who has kind of been the monster of 4A, they won the 4 straight state championships, were in a 7th straight state championship, or were trying to get to a 7th straight state championship game, and then Easton, who's been there so much. And so folks still, I think, doubted y'all quite a bit there late, especially that semifinal game, didn't know what to make of having to go over to Algiers and play those Cougars. How much did y'all either hear about that or talk about that or embrace sort of the underdog role, or was that kind of not a piece of motivation that y'all pulled in and were kind of just focused more internally at that point?
Yeah, we kept it on our back because we've been wanting to play Edna Karr since freshman year. Everybody been wanting to see that game. So when it came, it was like, all right, we got it. So now we got to execute. But we was watching, you know, YouTube make them look good and stuff, but you got to actually watch film. And we knew we had playmakers to beat them. So we just went there to Algiers and just showed them that we here to play. We ain't them other boys y'all played. Like, we come from the trenches.
As that final goal line stand finishes out and the Easton quarterback slips up on 4th down, and you can tell, you know, that this is it. Y'all are state champions. Take me through that moment a little bit. What are the emotions and the excitement everywhere, sideline and on the field and everything? I'm sure that was a little bit of a surreal moment.
Oh, yeah, it was surreal. Because after I threw the interception, I was like, man, no, I put a team in a bind right now. But I had trust in my defense because they've been making plays all postseason, all regular season. So I had trust in them. So when he slipped, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, we've been talking about it since freshman year. We're going to be state champs. And it happened right when he slipped. I knew the game was over.
Your big cousin, Early Doucet, that came out of St. Martinville and went on to LSU to play wide receiver and then into the NFL. He was somebody that had some advice for you at different points throughout your high school career, obviously, and heading into the playoffs. What did he tell you as a guy that had obviously done some things at very high levels just a few years back? What was Early's advice to you?
He was just like, keep the name big, keep it going. He was like, don't let anybody get in your head. Don't let nothing freeze you up or nothing. He said, just play your game and then you're going to be all good. So I listened to that and then we did great things.
And some of those other older players that I mentioned, like McColvin's son and Keishon Butte, that folks in Baton Rouge certainly know well now. Folks really nationwide know pretty well right now. What has the reaction been like of some of the recent Westgate players, or even maybe not so recent, just guys that have gone through there through the years to see y'all take this program to a place it had never been before?
They was hype kind of more than us, to be honest, because we already knew we was gonna be state champs. But they was like, man, this is crazy. I really did it and stuff. So they was hype just like how we was. They were celebrating with us and stuff. So yeah, we really put like Westgate on the map for everybody.
As you and Danny and the seniors graduate, what is your message to Derek and Dedrick and Amaz and the guys that are going to be back for at least another year? How do you kind of pass the torch that much further than after you guys have already climbed to the mountaintop?
Just don't take anything for granted because all the 4 years come by fast. It felt like just last year was my freshman year. Now I'm about to graduate in a couple months. So just keep doing good and don't take anything for granted. You don't know when your last play gonna be.
So what's ahead now for you? I mentioned Southeastern is kind of the plan college-wise. You got a few more months of high school to wrap up being a high school student athlete and then head off to Hammond. Take me through what your outlook is now. What are some of the emotions like for you as this high school career, as you mentioned, finished up a little bit more quickly than you maybe realized or felt like it flew by a little bit?
Yeah, it's coming fast, but I just gotta finish doing get my grades right. I got track season coming up now, so I gotta do my thing in track. So after that last track meet, I only got like a week of school left, and then now it's all Southeastern.
Do you, at some point in Hammond, do you say, "Hey, coach, put on that high school tape. Maybe let me have the keys to this offense"? Are you ready to go focus on wide receiver?
I'll do anything they want me to do. I'll play any position. I mean, whatever they need, I got them. So they got a good athlete coming over there.
I'm not at all surprised by that answer to hear you're ready to roll wherever they want to put you.
Oh yeah.
Again, he's Jordan Doucet, member of that state championship team for Westgate, making history. The first time those Tigers had gotten past the semifinal round, and they bring home the big trophy back to New Iberia. Jordan, appreciate you so much, man.
Thank you.
You got it. And for Louisiana versus all y'all, Jared Rosa. Thanks.